as important as it is to practice, it is equally important to understand where you tend to go wrong. Today, we are going to discuss the typical mistakes that students commit while attempting the listening test. When you attempt a listening test and check your answers, make sure that you identify if you commit any of these mistakes so that the next time you can be conscious to avoid these mistakes. So let's look at the mistakes one at a time. Mistake number 1. Selecting the multiple choice option just because you've heard the word. A typical mistake that many students commit is selecting the option choice just because they've heard the words in the audio. Such questions are designed to trap you. There are two possibilities. One is that you might have heard all the options that are present in the option choice, but the choice contains some additional word. For example, 200 people are allowed in the park versus more than 200 people are allowed in the park. Depending on the audio, you must select either one option because more than 200 could mean 200, 300, 400, etc. Whereas 200 people means only 200 people. The meaning is different. The other possibility is that while all the words that you hear may be present in the option choice, the meaning itself is completely different. So be careful when you select a multiple choice option. Remember, you must understand the meaning of the option and not just hear the words. Mistake number 2. Incorrect spellings. The IELTS does not give you partial marking. That means if your spelling is incorrect but your word is correct, you will still get the answer wrong. So learn your spellings carefully and be mindful of similar sounding words. Mistake number 3. Writing down the incorrect form of the noun. In some cases, you may have heard the plural form of the noun, but when you write the answer, you might write just the singular form. In most cases, many students miss out the S, which designates the plural. In this case, you must be careful because you will not get the answer correct if you've heard one form but written another form of the noun. Mistake number 4. Articles. Remember, your answer must be grammatically correct. So read the question carefully and include articles if it ensures that your answer becomes grammatically accurate. This is especially true in sentence completion questions. Mistake number 5. Units. In many cases, especially form, table, note completion type of questions, you may have to include units with your response. In this case, you can check the rows, column, or the table before and after to check if you need to include a unit such as degree, kilometer, gram, etc. In some cases, the unit will be provided after the blank. In this case, you must not include the unit. Mistake number 6. Changing the tense. Let's take an example to understand this better. If you hear an audio which says, "The manager will meet you at 4 p.m. and this is the question, your answer must be will meet. You cannot write, "The lady meets the manager at 4 p.m. because meets is the present tense and will meet is the future tense. Mistake number 7. Exceeding the word limit. Before you attempt the listening exercise or the practice test, make sure you read the instruction carefully. The instructions often indicate how many words you are allowed to write your answer in. If you exceed the number of words, then you will get your answer wrong. Mistake number 8. Including numbers where not needed. As mentioned previously, the IELTS questions often come with instructions such as include no more than 3 words and or a number. In some cases, the instructions could be like this: include no more than 3 words. In case of the second instruction, if you include a number in your answer, then you will get the answer wrong. For instance, if you write 20, that is 20, instead of TWENTY, then your answer will be marked wrong. And the final mistake, panicking and skipping many questions. Often it happens that you may miss one question. You may not have paid attention, or you might not have understood the question, and by mistake you would have skipped the question. In this case, many students panic. They get frantic, and as a result, they stop paying attention to the audio. In an attempt to remember what was said and to answer the missed question, they end up missing 4 to 5 other questions. Remember, if you miss a question, drop it, move on to the next question immediately. Do not try to remember what was heard, because you may not be able to do so. It is better to miss that one question than skip 4 to 5 other questions. So, do not panic. Now that you're familiar with the common mistakes in the listening questions, you can learn to avoid them. Be mindful and careful when you practice. Good luck.